I turned around, halfway through unloading boxes from my truck, and there she was, Karen. Platinum blonde bob, oversized sunglasses despite the cloudy sky, and that distinct aura of someone who believes the world bends for them. She was standing on the curb like a self-appointed border guard, hands on hips, staring daggers at me. I'd just bought this property a week ago, a charming brick house on a quiet cul-de-sac, one of the few outside the Maple Ridge HOA's boundaries. It was technically not part of their community, but it was close enough that people assumed it was. And apparently, that made me a target. "Excuse me," I said, setting down the box marked kitchen. She marched up my driveway like she owned it. "You can't move in here without WA approval. You're not on our list." I fought the urge to laugh. "That's because I'm not in your WA." Her expression froze for a moment, like she'd heard a language she didn't understand. Then, slowly, her lips twisted into a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Oh, honey, everyone in Maple Ridge falls under our jurisdiction. We maintain these streets, we enforce the standards. You can't just do whatever you want." "Pretty sure I can," I replied calmly. "This lot was never annexed into the HOA. County records confirm it. You can check." Her smile vanished. "We'll see about that." She spun on her heels and strutted away, barking into her phone before she even made it back to her house. I caught snippets of her conversation. "New homeowner, non-compliant, we'll take care of it." I sighed, rubbing my temple. I'd heard stories about Maple Ridge's WA, the kind that made the evening news. Fines for leaving trash cans out an hour late. Lawsuits over mailbox colors. I thought buying just outside their jurisdiction would spare me the drama. I was wrong. The next morning, I woke up to the sound of power tools and voices outside. I peeked through the blinds and froze. 3 men in neon vests were digging a hole in my front yard. I ran out, barefoot, shouting, "Hey! What the hell are you doing?" One of them looked up. "WA ordered a sprinkler line extension, sir. Just following work orders. There's no HOA here." I said, "Get off my property." They hesitated. Then Karen appeared again, holding a clipboard like it was a weapon. "It's part of our landscaping improvement project," she said, her tone syrupy but sharp. "You should have received the notice." "I didn't, because I'm not part of your WA." She sighed dramatically, flipping through her papers. "Oh, there's been a misunderstanding. The boundary maps were redrawn last year. You fall under our care now." I stepped closer. "Show me the legal documents." Her eyes darted down to the clipboard, blank pages. "You'll get them soon. Don't worry, we'll add the dues to your account." That was the moment I realized. She wasn't confused. She was testing me. By afternoon, I had security cameras installed. I wasn't about to let the self-appointed neighborhood dictator run me out. 2 days later, I got my first letter. An envelope slid under my door, printed with the Maple Ridge WA logo. Violation notice number 001, unapproved vehicle. Fine. $250. They had taken a photo of my black pickup parked in my driveway. I couldn't help but laugh. Then another letter came the next day. Violation notice number 002, improper mailbox color. Fine. $150. Then another. Violation notice number 003, grass height exceeds WA standard. Fine. $300. It became a daily ritual, new envelopes appearing on my doorstep like cursed love letters. But I didn't pay. I didn't respond. Instead, I started documenting everything. The digging, the trespassing, the fake letters, even Karen's 7 a.m. inspection walks, when she'd pace back and forth in front of my property with her phone camera, narrating imaginary violations for her WA Facebook group. Finally, one afternoon, I saw her marching toward my house again, this time with a man in a suit. "Mr. Reynolds," she said, smiling too wide. "This is our WA attorney. You've accumulated $2,400 in unpaid fines. We'll be filing a lien against your property if you don't comply." I looked the lawyer dead in the eyes. "You can't file a lien on something you don't control." He adjusted his glasses nervously. "Ma'am, are you certain this residence is under WA authority?" Karen's face twitched. "Of course it is. Look at it. It's in Maple Ridge." I pulled out a folder I'd prepared, property maps, tax records, and a county zoning letter stamped with the county seal. I handed it to him. "This house sits outside the Maple Ridge WA boundaries by exactly 47 feet. The WA has no legal jurisdiction here." The lawyer read the papers, frowned, then turned to Karen. "He's right." Karen's jaw dropped. No, this can't be right. I run the WA." I decide. That's not how it works, I interrupted. You can't just invent boundaries because you don't like your neighbors. She turned crimson. We'll seize you by force if we have to. She screamed. The lawyer's eyes widened. Karen. But she was already shouting, spittle flying. You're ruining our neighborhood. You think you're above the rules, but we own this street. We'll call the sheriff. Good, I said quietly. I was going to do that anyway. That night, 2 deputies showed up. I explained everything, showed them the footage of the workers digging, the letters, the threats. One of them whistled low. She said you were harassing her, the taller deputy said. But I've seen enough. She's crossing legal lines. They issued her a warning for harassment and trespassing. For a while, things got quiet. Until, one morning a week later, I woke up to find a construction crew at the edge of my driveway, pouring concrete. What's this? I asked. Karen's voice came from across the street. New community sidewalk. You're blocking neighborhood access, so we're fixing it. On my property line, I asked. She smirked. You'll thank us later. That was it. I'd tried to stay calm, but she'd just committed civil trespass. I called the county inspector, my friend James. He came by within the hour. After surveying the property, he turned to her. Ma'am, this work is unauthorized and illegal. You're pouring concrete on private land. Karen folded her arms. No, this belongs to the HOA. James handed her a copy of the property map. No, ma'am, it belongs to him. And you've just cost your HOA a small fortune in violations. She tried to argue, but her voice broke mid-sentence when she saw the sheriff's cruiser pull up again. The officers documented everything, took statements, and gave her a citation for property damage. The construction crew was forced to jackhammer up the concrete that same afternoon. By the end of the week, the Maple Ridge board called an emergency meeting. I wasn't supposed to know what happened in there, but word spread fast. Karen was stripped of her position as HOA president after multiple complaints and legal threats from the county. I didn't celebrate. I didn't need to. 2 weeks later, she put her house up for sale. The "for sale" sign went up quietly, without the usual streamers or open house banners she loved. The day she left, she didn't even look at me. Just drove off with her car packed full of boxes, sunglasses still on, lips pressed tight. I stood at the end of my driveway, watching her taillights disappear, and for the first time since moving in, the street felt peaceful. No more fake letters. No more screaming. No more threats. Just the sound of wind rustling the maple trees that gave this place its name. Sometimes, all it takes to stop a bully is to draw a line, and hold it, no matter who screams on the other side.